Welcome to the Big Change of the Film interview series. My name is Jason Cohen. Personally, I've lost over 120 pounds, and every week I chat with people who've lost significant amounts of weight, share their stories, and try and pass along some of that inspiration to others. Including today's guest and myself, the total pounds lost is now up to 9,035 pounds. This week's guest is Mike Gregorio. At his biggest, Michael weighed 440 pounds. He struggled with obesity for 25 years, and one day he woke up and realized how much he had missed out on life. He's since lost 155 pounds, he has a new lease on life, and we have a great conversation. Thanks so much for watching. I'm here with Michael Gregorio. He's lost 155 pounds and has kind of been following some of our interviews and reached out to me. So first off, Michael, thanks for taking the time to reach out and for taking the time to chat with me. And maybe we could just start off with a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
Okay. I appreciate it. I'm grew up in Maple Shade, New Jersey. I'm currently living in Marlton. It's about 10 minutes over the bridge to Philadelphia. So we're right, in the metropolitan area there. And I grew up in a small blue-collar town. Was into sports when I was younger, and actually took a leap and went out to Valparaiso, Indiana to college. And that was a big stress for someone to go that far from my high school. So did that, and then after college, I had an engineering degree, and I worked at RCA, which is no longer around, but everyone knows who RCA is, and then decided that I would be in the food industry. So I got out and got in the restaurant business, bought a bar in Philadelphia when I was only 30 years old, and did that for a while. And I've been in the food business the last 25 years. I have a love for food, as was part of my problem with obesity, because I really enjoy all kinds of food. So that's basically how I got to where I am today.
So at your biggest, you were 440 pounds.
Yes.
That's kind of hard to believe. So where did life start out for you? Were you bigger as a kid? Was that something you put on later in life?
Well, in high school, I played football, so I always put weight on during football season. I was usually around 240, 250 pounds. And then once the spring came, I would lose the weight, and I'd get down to probably like 200 pounds. So I yo-yoed back and forth through high school, and then went away to college. I was probably about 225 when I went away to college. And in college, I put instead of freshman 15, I put 30 on, which is okay, because in the summertime, I came home, had a summertime job outside, and I worked it off. And then I went back to college again, and then so I started actually, more and more would go on. I would take less off, and then after college, I probably stayed around 250, 275. And then when I bought my bar, I think I was like 275 when I bought my bar. And then by the time I sold my bar 8 years later, I was 440 pounds. So I put quite a bit on it was about an 8-year period, but I probably put the bulk of it on the first 2 years I opened my bar. So that's how I got to the 440. So, and then after I sold my bar, I decided, okay, I'm going to try and take the weight off. And I took it off. I would get down to close to like 325, and then I'd yo-yo back and forth up until I was about 7 years ago. I had to have my knees replaced I played football in high school and all, and I had bad knees. So they told me I need knee replacement. They told me the only way they replaced them if I got under 300 pounds. So of course, I've done every diet in the world, so it was easy. I just got under my 300 pounds. In 1 year, had my knee replaced. The next year, had the second one replaced, and then over the last 7 years, I just put all the weight back on. To about a year ago, I hurt my knee again, and they told me unless I was under 300 pounds again, they weren't going to do anything. So that's when I decided that I really had to do something and stick to it, because I let the weight come back on over the 7 years. And if I didn't, I would probably have the problem I had for the second time. So then I was up to about 375, 380, got down to about 325, and then they found out that my knee wasn't going to get better, that it was actually infected. And they explained to me it was a 2-step process. They had to go in and take out my old knee replacement, take the infection out, and they put an antibiotic spacer in. And I was laid up for 12 weeks with a walker. I couldn't walk on my foot, so no weight bearing. And that's when it really hit me that I really need to get my act together. So on February 16th, I had the first knee taken out. And that's when I went. I was doing plant-based on and off, and still eating some meat. Then I just realized that this is the only way to go. So I went totally plant based, all vegan, and cut everything out, all meats, cheeses, dairy, oils, everything. And over the last 10 weeks being laid up, it was amazing that the weight was just falling off me. I wasn't even exercising. And I realized this was the only way. This is the way you have to live if you want to live a healthy life. There's the fad diets come and go. I did Atkins, I did paleo, I did everything. But this is, I eat more than I ever did. I feel better than I ever did. And it's just been amazing. Since I've lost 35 pounds in the 12 weeks that I've been laid up with when I couldn't walk. So it really opened my eyes to what the right way to be healthy is to eat the right food and eat natural whole foods and cut all the other stuff out.
So kind of to go back, you said you jumped a large amount of your weight was gained during those 8 years of owning the bar. Looking
Right.
back, what do you attribute that mostly to?
Well, the big thing was, I mean, I worked 7 days a week. I lived above the bar. I never actually sat down and ate a meal. I mean, I cooked in the kitchen. I was, I had help in the kitchen, but I was mainly the one in the kitchen. So I would just pick all day, French fry here, a wing here. And my worst nightmare was I was drinking gallons of diet soda. That's all I would drink. I mean, it's funny, people think you buy a bar. I actually drank less after I owned the bar than I did before the bar. And put my weight on because it's just not eating right, just eating here and there, never actually sitting down, having a meal. And, basically gave up. I mean, I used to work out all the time. Once I bought my bar, I stopped working out. It was my life. I lived upstairs. I went down the steps, opened the bar in the morning till 2 o'clock in the morning, back upstairs to bed. And it just, I moved, but it wasn't like a healthy movement. I was in the kitchen helping with the bar. And like I said, I never really ate meals. I just picked. So I never realized what I actually was eating. A lot of fried foods, bar food. So that's how it just started packing on. And, you don't realize it, you're putting it on and, it's a wake up call. Eventually you look in the mirror and just, how did I get here? And then you look back and think and the reason you got there is because of what you eat. And, it was friends of mine that told my parents, they said, we're going to bury him the way he's going. He's just not taking care of himself. So, those 7, 8 years I had the bar, I just lived my business. I didn't care about my health. And, that's how I got to that point.
So you mentioned that friends were telling your parents, if he keeps going this way, we're gonna have to bury him. Were people having that same conversation with you, or were you having that conversation with yourself?
No, that's the funny part because they always call me Big Mike. So, you get that somebody gives you that nickname and it says, okay, I'm Big Mike. Everyone knows Big Mike. And, I guess never really wanted to face it. I'd look in the mirror, but I didn't see that, unhealthy guy. I was living every day, working every day. And I was younger, so I didn't feel that bad. I had a lot of weight on, but I was always could get around. And, my parents really never said anything. And, just recently, like my mom was saying, like I should, remind her of pictures of how I was 440 pounds. And she's like, I don't remember you being that big. I said, because they see me all the time and it's your family and they don't want to tell you, I guess they try and guard you from it that, you should do something. So there was never really a conversation as far as my parents. And I come from an Italian family. So food is a very big part of our life. Everything you celebrate with food, you have hard times you eat because you want to forget the bad times, the good times, you're always eating. So I grew up in that, food is love, you eat that, shows that you love each other. So that, it never really, came up to that conversation. Like I said, my friends, they would never really say anything to me. Like I said, I was always Big Mike. Everybody, oh, Big Mike, Big Mike. And so I just kind of like put the blinders on and just was going through life, not really paying attention other than until I got to the point where I didn't feel healthy. And that's when I really decided, this is not the way to live. I'm missing out on life. There's things I couldn't do. I'd love to go to, amusement parks, and I knew I couldn't go because I was afraid I couldn't get on any of the rides because of my size. And I love sports. And, somebody invited me to like a football game. And I said, I got something to do because I was afraid, I wouldn't fit in the seat and the people next to me, I didn't make them feel uncomfortable. So I missed out on a lot of life, living life back then. And at this time when this whole knee came the second time around, I was just like, I got to really start to enjoy my life and appreciate, to be on earth, you only get one chance. It's not a rehearsal. You only go through life once. And if I want to live the rest of my life, this is the only way to do it, the healthy way.
At 440 pounds, did you have any, physical limitations that limited you and or medical issues outside of, your knees and whatnot?
Well, blood pressure. I was on blood pressure medicine the whole time. It's like anything else. Is the doctors give you a pill. They tell you need to lose weight, but they'll just keep feeding you the pills. And I took the blood pressure pills. I mean, I still got around because I was, like I say, kept active. I couldn't, tying your shoes and doing stuff like that. And I was sitting on a bar stool most of the day or in the kitchen standing. So it really was I was out, living my life. So you don't realize how so many things that you can't do because I was just sedentary. So you don't realize what you're missing out on until after I sold the bar, and then I realized, wow, this is not good. I can't get around. Driving was uncomfortable, with the steering wheel. When you go out to eat, you want, you have to ask for a table because you can't fit in a booth, and that's when it really started hitting me after, I had to do something about it, and I did. But I lost, like I said, I lost some weight, got down. But I would yo-yo back and forth. I get comfortable, and then I would just let it go again instead of just getting to the point where I got all the way down to where I'd be healthy and stay and live a healthy life.
And why do you think, I know you said you did the whole yo-yo diet thing and you tried a ton of diets. Why do you think previously, dieting just wasn't long-term successful for you?
I think because the way I was eating, I mean, I did Atkins, it was always, it was a quick take, the quick fix, eat this, eat that. And it worked for a while. And then as soon as you go back to not eating exactly, regimen, like, no carbs and this and that, you just put it back on. I mean, it's just, your body just isn't built to eat the way that the diets and the quick fix that are out there. The only way, that works is actually plant-based vegan. I mean, it still amazes me that what I eat in a day is so much and it's hard to even eat all the stuff and I'm still, and the weight's coming off. I mean, before I'd eat a hoagie, I'd eat all the fast food stuff, wings and all, and I could never get full and I would be putting weight on. Now I'm losing weight and I'm full all the time. It's just, it's two different worlds. I mean, when I watch Forks Over Knives and Plant Nation, The Place at the Table, I mean, and seeing, the China study, I read that, and Dr. McDougall's starch diet. I mean, it's amazing the knowledge that's out there that I never realized that you could tap into. And that's what really realized that the facts are out there. If you just read them and research it, that's the way we should be living. It's the healthy way, and you feel so much better, and food even tastes way better. I mean, I enjoy so much food now. Before, I think I was just eating it because you ate and it was there in front of you. It was fast food, just eat it. And it's amazing the difference after, like I said, reading the books. I mean, I even actually 2 years ago, Joe Cross, the bad, sick, and almost dead or whatever. I actually met him. He was in Philadelphia, and I actually juiced. I did 30 days and I lost like 50 pounds. But you can't sustain it. I mean, as soon as I got done juicing, I just went back and started eating. And next thing I know, I was just shoving everything in my mouth again. So it wasn't sustainable. There's no quick fixes. I mean, you have to eat the same healthy foods every day, and that's the only way to make it. I mean, you have to stay the course. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. You just got to stay on the course to get healthy.
I'm just thinking, you're a former bar owner, you're Italian, you're used to hoagies, you're used to, comfort foods. What has that transition been like mentally for you to get to where you are now?
Yeah, it's funny. It's and like I never ate potatoes because I was afraid. Oh, you can't eat carbs. You got to eat meat. It's going to put weight on you. Now I probably eat about 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds of potatoes a day, and it's a big difference. I mean, like I'm right outside of Philly, so it's like everything's cheesesteak and hoagies. I mean, I after I sold the bar, actually, I owned a deli. It was Big Mike's Italian Deli, and the whole difference from that's all I ate was hoagies and cheesesteaks, and now it's enjoying the vegetables and fruit. I've never eaten so much fruit in my life. I've never ate fruit. I eat fruit every morning, every day. The vegetables, and I always loved vegetables, but it was the carbs mostly, like the potatoes and the beans and stuff. That's what I eat before, and it's really satisfying, and it really has great taste because you don't poison your taste buds with all the salt and all the other stuff that you put on meat, and the marinades and everything. That's really all you're tasting when you're eating meat and stuff is what you put on it. I tell my friends, they're like, how can you not eat meat? I'm like, try eating a piece of meat without putting anything on it. I said, see what it tastes like. I said, you might as well chew on your shoe. I said, there's no taste. You're just making a taste with all the stuff that you're putting on it. I said, so when we eat vegetables, you actually get taste what a vegetable tastes like. You can actually, all the whole grains. I mean, you actually taste it and it's enjoyable. It's not like the meat, and especially cheese and dairy. I was a big cheese guy, put cheese on everything. And, now I use the nutritional yeast, and, I season it with like hot sauce, and I don't miss it at all. I don't miss the cheese, the dairy at all. I mean, nothing. It's amazing. I mean, if you would have told me this a year ago or even 6 months ago, I would never believe it myself.
Well, I'm also thinking you probably, it sounds like you're close to your family. It sounds like you have a community of friends up there. Um, I know for a lot of people that at least in their own mind holds them back
Yeah,
from going forward, because they're like, well, what am I going to eat when I go to family gatherings, or what am I going to do if somebody
right.
invites me over for the football game or whatever? Do you kind of have a plan of attack or approach, going into some of those situations that helps you, especially since everybody knew you as, they've known you for much longer as Big Mike, the deli and bar owner, than they have as Big Mike, the I eat this way guy?
Yeah, it is a big difference. Like just recently, Mother's Day, we always go to my sister's for the holidays, and it's really good. I have a very supportive family, so that helps a lot. I mean, they don't they ask you why don't you eat meat? It's good for you. They understand. So I had my sister. They had vegetables there. I eat potatoes and vegetables. I mean, there was ribs on the table right in front of me. The whole big plate was right there, and it's pretty funny. It didn't even bother me. Like it's almost like the smell and stuff. It just doesn't even make me want to eat it anymore. It's just that it smells foreign. It feels foreign. So I enjoy the vegetables and the potatoes. I can eat as much as I want. Or before I would sit there, and then when I got done eating, the best part is when I get done eating now, I feel comfortable. I used to get done eating and go to my sister's for a family function, and I'd eat ribs and I'd eat all the meat. And by the time I was done eating, I would sit there and I'd feel terrible. And it's so nice at the end of a meal to still feel good and feel healthy, that you don't feel like you just ate stuff that was poisoning your body. And it's a whole different world. Like I said, being around Italian family, my father loves to bake, and living here the last 3 months, he's always making cookies and cakes. And, it's in front of me, but I made this decision for my health. I mean, it's like people say, oh, well, you're a vegan. That means you want to hug trees and you want to go pet cows. And I'm like, that's all part of it. But the main part is your health. I mean, this is the way you need to have your body function the way it's supposed to function. And I just explained to him, I said, you're not going to see me hug a tree. I'm doing this because I want to live a long and healthy life. That's the bottom line. And you would feel better too. And I have a few friends, they're trying, trying little by little, telling them, try it, for a little bit, and then you'll see. That's the only way. You can only give people that they want to try it and have an open mind. And I asked them, I said, don't expect to like overnight just stop eating meat. Just put stuff in place of it, like eat more vegetables, put some potatoes, try a couple of days without the meat, see how you feel. And I think if people do that, they'll realize that it's really the way we're supposed to eat. It's the bottom line.
What are your goals for the future? Obviously you have a little bit. I know you're in physical rehab now. I think you said to me you still, are looking to lose another 75 pounds. But when you look forward, what do you see in front of you?
Well, my goal is I want to get down to under 200 pounds. That's when I graduated high school, I was like 190 pounds, and that's my goal to get there, and I will get there. And my thing is, I actually, back when, probably 2 years ago when I started, I thought I wanted to eat this way and stuff, or even a year ago. I came up with a slogan, one X at a time. And that's how I've been living my life. I actually make it one of those, like a chart with all the days on it, like a calendar. And every day I X off every day. And I write down that I was plant-based vegan for the day. And I just get through one day at a time. And I want to help other people realize that's all it takes is just one X at a time. You get through your life, and eventually you'll get to where you want to be. You can't look in the future too far because tomorrow's not guaranteed. So just live every day to get the healthiest you can, and that's what I've been doing. I actually started on Facebook. I'm going to start one X at a time. I have it on there. I haven't done anything on it yet, and I actually might start on YouTube. I actually looked into, and I got a channel. It's Better Late Than Never Vegan. So I'm thinking to start. I want to reach out and help people that think they can't do it. That there's it's crazy to try and even eat like that, and show them that there's another way to be healthy. This is the way you need to eat to make yourself to get where you want to be and then really enjoy life. Because I missed out on a lot of life being obese. That's when I look back. That's what the thing is. I mean, there's years I stopped and made excuses not to go places because of my size. And I don't want to live like that anymore. I want to live the rest of my life being happy and being able to choose and pick and choose what I want to do because I am healthy, not because I'm obese.
Is there anything that's happened that maybe you weren't expecting, that you just didn't think was going to be possible, or that 2 years ago was not even remotely on your radar, but now is kind of just normal life for you?
Actually, feeling comfortable when you eat. I never imagined that you could eat the amount of food you can eat and get up from the table and feel comfortable. I always had that feeling every time I would eat. I feel so uncomfortable. I actually, almost feel sick that, I just put all that in me and I feel terrible. Now, the thing that surprises me and blows me away is you eat like this, you get up from the table and you feel good. You actually walk away after eating, you actually feel good, you feel healthy, you feel the same way when you sat down. I think that's the big surprise for me, that food can make you feel good, not the other way around. I ate food to make me feel good mentally. Now I eat food to make me feel good physically, which is a big difference. I mean, I just ate because it was in front of me because I was trying to cover up something, or it was a thing to do. It's a family function. Everybody eats, enjoy. The more you eat, the better you're going to be. That's love. But now to be able to sit down and eat a meal, and when I get up, feel healthier than when I sat down is really something I never expected. That's for sure.
And you mentioned something in there about the mental side of things. Where are you at mentally now these days compared to previously?
It's made a big difference in my life. The way I was eating, I would never have reached out like I did. I reached out to people online. There's a guy online that last night who's on a journey, and I always watched what he was doing all, but now I actually chime in, and I feel better because I have something good to say and something healthy to say to people. So it makes me mentally, I feel a lot more confident in getting people to understand the healthy way of life. Where before it was just always, I was always joking around and stuff and all. And I did that to hide things. And now I feel mentally that, I don't have to hide behind eating and behind my obesity. Now I want to be out there and I want to enjoy things, and I want other people to see how they can enjoy life. I don't want people to go through what I did over the last 25 years. It's not a healthy way to be, to hide, and not mentally put things in the back of your mind and just try and forget about it instead of dealing with it. And, dealing with it and eating healthy has really made me mentally focus on life a lot better. I'm enjoying things more. I'm trying more things. I'm doing more things that I want to do over the last 25 years. I'm actually going to go to a Phillies game this Saturday. I haven't been to a Phillies game in years because I was afraid I wouldn't fit in the seat. So I'm actually going to go watch a Phillies game. I love sports. I'll probably mentally, I'll be able to go do more things that way. I'll feel confident to go there, that people aren't looking at it as the big guy. I hope he's not sitting next to me, So that makes a big mentally thing. You feel more comfortable being out around. You kind of shut yourself in when you're heavy. You make excuses. And, I'm not going to do that because I have another reason. But the real reason is you feel uncomfortable and you don't want to be around people. And I'm a very outgoing person, and it was always hard for me to feel like, oh, how come you're not coming out? And I make excuses. So that's a big difference mentally. I feel healthy and I feel confident to go out and be in public and not, feel like I can't do something because of my weight. I'm not going to be able to sit at a table. I'm not going to be able to get a seat. If I sit on a lawn chair, it's going to collapse. I go out, for picnics and stuff. So it makes a big difference mentally. It makes you feel a lot better about life.
Yeah, I don't think some people realize, and also some people admit, how much mental effort goes into not sticking out or not being uncomfortable whenever you're bigger. Because it's like my buddy Josh says, not only was he heavy physically, but he was heavy mentally, because you're just, your brain's always constantly working. What's this person think about me? Or am I going to get sat here? Or like you said, is something going to break? Am I going to end up in all the way in the booth?
Yeah.
And it's great to hear. Enjoy that Phillies game.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be, like I said, I have friends that always ask me stuff. Like my brother-in-law's had season tickets for 30 years. And 30 years ago, I actually had season tickets with him. And over the years, I just gave them up because I got to the point where I didn't want to go because I felt so uncomfortable, going to a game. The whole idea. Like I said, it's not only you feel uncomfortable with yourself, like your friend Josh said. You're going there and you're saying, people are looking at you as you're coming up the steps to go to your seat, going, I hope he's not sitting next to me. And that's what you're thinking when you're a big guy walking up the steps. Going, everybody's going, oh God, I hope he's not the seat next to me. I'm gonna have to sit next to him the whole game. It really wears on you mentally. It beats you up, and it makes you decide that you want to like shut yourself in, and that's the sad thing. I see a lot of the sad thing I see today is a lot of young kids that are really obese, and just knowing what they're going to go through is just it's just tough to see. And that's another thing too. I really want to get involved with childhood obesity because there's no reason kids should have to go through that.
Yeah. No, it's so true. So where are you at? Medically speaking, with everything. How's your high blood pressure and all that?
Yeah, I've been off the blood pressure pills. I actually, a week before I was supposed to have my knee surgery, I had a little dizzy spell and I ended up in the hospital, which ended up being a good thing. They did it because my father had, at 44, had a triple bypass. At 67, he had a quadruple bypass. At 72, had stents. And 2 years ago, he had a valve put in. He's 84 years old and he's still going. And so every time something little goes wrong, they want to test me for everything because of my history. And they actually did a catheterization, and the doctor said, "Wow, you're for your age, everything is your bowels, everything's clear. There's no blockages or anything." So the only thing that they think for my obesity might have caused AFib and knocked it out from over the years of being overweight because I had sleep apnea. So that might have affected me. So other than that, everything else is good. Like all my numbers, it's got all my blood work done. It's amazing. Just my cholesterol, it's below normal. Everything, all my numbers, all my blood work, glucose. I mean, not diabetic or anything, and diabetes ran in my family, and none of that. I haven't none of that. So I really believe that if I wouldn't be where I'm at if I didn't start this plant based, I really started like in November is when I started changing the ways I eat, cut the meat down. But over the last, it's been almost 2.5 months now that I haven't had any meat at all or any dairy or anything. So I think that's the reason why my blood work came out the way it did.
Wow. Well, if you could have a conversation with somebody at the beginning of this journey who is trying to find their way, is hearing your story, it's resonating with them, and they're needing to make some changes in their life, what advice would you give them at the beginning of that journey?
Try not to think of 6 months down the road. Just think about the next day, what you put in your mouth that day. And there's so many people nowadays with the way you are with the media and social media. Reach out. There's always someone out there that can help you. Don't feel like you're alone. That's the biggest problem. I always felt I was alone. Nobody's going to understand. Nobody understands what I'm going through. That there's all kinds like just what you're doing. People like you to reach out. There's all the people that you've interviewed. Reach out to them. They'd be more than glad to help you. There's no reason to put off and think I can't get there. You just got to take one step, 1 foot in front of you, one at a time, one X at a time. Just go through life, and don't try and replace everything overnight. Just little by little, and you'll be amazed at how much better you start feeling, and you'll get to the point where it's just like everything else, like the way you ate before. The healthy way is just to be natural. It'll just feel natural to you, and you're not alone. That's the biggest thing. You're not alone. There's tons of people out there that are going through the same thing you are. So reach out and don't be afraid to reach out. And there's plenty of help out there. It's not like before, years ago, people that were obese and had nowhere to go. It's a worldwide problem, especially in the United States here. I mean, as more people are obese, it's going in the wrong direction, and it's got to change. So be a part of it rather than, and then reach out for the help and get to where you have to be. Don't go in the other direction. That's the advice. Reach out. There's plenty of people to help you out there.
That's great advice. And if you could go back in time and give some advice to, your former self at maybe 440 pounds or just earlier in life, or some kind words, what would you tell that person?
Not be afraid to change. It's not a sentence like born in an Italian family, everybody eats that. You don't have to eat everything that's bad for you just because that, and not try and cover up with food. That was my biggest thing. I mean, I was my escape. There's other ways to deal with what's going on in your life. You don't need food to comfort you. You don't need food to celebrate. There's other ways to do it. And to ask for the help. Try not to lock yourself in. Your friends around you and all. They understand more than you think. I've learned that recently that, friends of mine that knew me all my life as very, they're very supportive of what I'm doing. And, they would have been, if I would have done this, way back when, they would have been supportive. So you'd be surprised how supportive the people around you are, and just do what you want to do, what you have to do to get to where you want to be, and all the help will come with it. You're not alone. that's the biggest thing. That don't think that you're on this journey by yourself. When you go on this journey, you're going to find people just like you. So if I give myself that advice, that reach out and just do what you need to do to make yourself healthy, because you're going to miss out on too much in life, and it's not worth it.
That's awesome. And lastly, where can people find out more about you and connect with you?
Well, I'm on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook, as friend me on Facebook, and I just started. I'm going to be doing 1X at a time on Facebook. So if you look for that, and I'm going to try doing on YouTube. So I'll be putting stuff on my Facebook blog post to what I'm going to do. Like I said, it's really starting to get momentum. I'm really feeling like I want to really be part of this whole thing, and I am involved in it now. So I think that's my future, is going to be helping people to get to where I am, and I think that's a big thing. We need to help each other out there and get to be healthy, and this is the way that our society is actually going to, if we want to live. I mean, it's the way that society's going. You have to live healthy, or else we're going to wipe ourselves out.
Awesome. Well, Michael, Big Mike, I look forward to seeing an even smaller version of you in the future. And congratulations on everywhere you've come from. And I look forward to keeping up with you and everything you have going on.
Definitely, and I appreciate what you're doing. I mean, people like you that make it easier for the big Mikes in the world to get the help they need.
Hey, we're all in it together. Whatever we can do.
Right. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.